Live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon. Welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I am Xander. We will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly. And you, of course, viewer, are you. Thank you so much for coming in and watching us. Today is, of course, Moon's Day, aka Monday, March 23rd, 2026. This show is about interesting and important occurrences that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. Starting with the year 625, the Muslim army under Muhammad suffered a defeat against the Quraysh in the Battle of Uhud. 752 here, Pope-elect Stephen was selected to succeed Zacharias as Catholic Pope, only to die of a stroke 2 days later. And I think, you know what? Let's make a note of that. 752. 752. Die 2 days later. If it's like, because like it's mentioned again, another pope died 2 days later, and I'm wondering if I screwed up by accidentally putting a 1 before it. So keep an eye out for 1752. Anyway, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Good. Golden Loon here.
Nice. 1066 here, 18th recorded perihelion passage of Halley's Comet. Once again, the perihelion is the closest approach a comet is to our sun. And this is the 18th time we've recorded the
passage of the
Halley's Comet. Yeah.
Passing by.
Yep.
Yeah.
1150.
How often does it pass by?
I think every 70 some odd years or something.
Like
Halley's
that,
Comet.
Yeah.
So, 1153, Treaty of Constance. Frederick I Barbarossa agreed not to reestablish Byzantium in Italy and to support Pope Eugene III. Moving on up to 1400, the Tran dynasty of Vietnam was deposed after 175 years of rule by Ho Khoi Ly, a court official. 1490, the first dated edition of Manminyo's Mishnah Torah, this is 1490 here, was published, a code of Jewish religious law. Yep, they have quite a few religious books actually, you know, like not just the Talmud. 1540, Waltham Abbey was surrendered to King Henry VIII of England, the last religious community to be closed during the dissolution of the monasteries. And actually, I remember, I want to image search this. I forgot to, you know what? Image search this. I need to keep that in the footnotes there for the future. Yeah, so apparently this is when they were abolishing or something. Like, so we have here an old painting.
Yeah.
And this looks like it's the same church. Kind of, sort of. Oh, no, it's not. Nah, it's completely different. But still, like, you know, then we have, like, ruins and such.
Yeah.
So, and this one, I'm not sure if that's the same one. But that's such a tragedy. You know, it's beautiful structure just to be allowed to get lost to time there. What else do we have here? 1540, Waltham Abbey was surrendered to King Henry VIII of England. The last, oh yeah, we got that one. 1568, the Treaty of Longjumeau. French Huguenots went on strike. The Peace of Longjumeau was signed, ending the second phase of the French Wars of Religion. 1593, English separatists, Puritans John Greenwood and Henry Barrow were tried and sentenced to death on the charge of devising and circulating seditious books. So, wow.
Seditious books.
Yep. I've never heard you do that before. That's I haven't heard that in a long time, man. 1657, France and England formed an alliance against Spain. England got Dunkirk.
Oh.
Yeah. 1752, Canada's first newspaper, the Halifax Gazette, there it is, published in Halifax by John Bushell.
Question is it in English or French?
Well, let's see here. Halifax Gazette. As many of the subscribers to the profitels for publishing of this paper.
English.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. If I was just sitting here going,
We would have said you were
having
weird. Having a seizure.
1752, Pope Stephen II, elected to succeed Zacharias, died 2 days later. Okay, let's look at our notes. 752, yep, okay. Pardon me, so I did screw up at some point and somehow add a 1 there. 1775, Patrick Henry proclaimed, "Give me liberty or give me death," in a speech encouraging Virginia troops to join the American Revolutionary War. And, you know, I stand with him. Give me liberty or give me death. You know, don't screw around, you know, with me and shit. Pardon me. Thank you. No, I just need more water. 1794, U.S. inventor Josiah Pearson patented a cold heater, a rivet machine. And, oh yeah, here's Give Me Liberty and Give Me Death there.
Yeah.
And here's this, this is what I got when I looked it up.
That's way too modern.
Yeah. I'm just using this as a break.
Yeah.
To take a sip of water. Don't forget, you guys out there, drink some water. Keep yourself hydrated. 1801, Alexander Pavlovich Romanov became Tsar Alexander I of Russia after his father, Tsar Paul I, was assassinated. Yikes. Tsar Paul I of Russia was struck with a sword, then strangled, and finally trampled. I'm sorry. That's horrifying. Jesus. What did he do, man? That's ridiculous.
There's no human that.
I mean, like, I'm only laughing because of how absurd this is. Struck with a sword, then strangled and trampled to death inside his bedroom at St. Michael's Castle. What the hell? Dude, like, that is ridiculous. 1806, after traveling through the Louisiana Purchase and reaching the Pacific Ocean, explorers Lewis and Clark, their core of discovery, began the arduous journey home. It's telling me to look this up here, and there's a couple of maps. I think there's something to read as well, but let's see.
Yeah, Lewis and Clark exploration.
Yeah, but they had to come back.
Yeah.
So, open image news tab. Here we go. Look at that.
They really went north.
Well, you know, they went to the web, but they went north, and actually they have deviations. So, route to mouth of Columbia River, and return. So,
Wonder why they didn't go due west. I guess they want to stay out of the Spanish territory, maybe.
yeah, well, like they wanted to, like they just stayed along the river. Really, if you look for the most part, although like because right here. They started in St. Louis, so you follow the red line, and
yeah,
it goes.
they crossed the continental divide, so the river isn't going to go both ways.
Well, no, but they're staying with a water source.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
But it looks like they got off track here, and then they met up with a river here, the Snake River. I don't know when it becomes the Columbia, but and then they got over here, and then they went back. But this is weird. There's a fork. One of them went north, and the other one went south, and then they met back up at this river, where this river connected to this river.
Was that go on the way back? You mean?
On the way back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. Do you see the split here?
Yeah.
You see how the one path goes way? This is weird. It goes whoa.
But how do you know that's on the way back?
Because it says purple, return and exploratory routes in
okay.
St. Louis. So from 1800, so it was started in 1804 to 1805 is the red, and then 1805 to 1806 is the purple. But the purple splits here. It goes up north. It does this weird thing, and then there's this other one that goes this way, and then it hooks up with the Yellowstone River, and then until it hits the Missouri, and then that's where they connect with the northern one. Anyway, let's keep on going here. 1808, Napoleon's brother Joseph took the throne of Spain. I didn't know Napoleon had a brother.
No idea.
1839, the first recorded use of OK, all correct, appeared in the Boston Morning Post.
Correct?
All correct.
All correct.
Or all, it's in the primary source here. Where was it? Where do I even, is it? Yeah, 1839, okay, right here. OLLKORECT. All correct. So they're okay. So standing for all correct.
Yeah.
Oh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
What else we got here? 1839, a massive earthquake destroyed the former capital, Inwa, of the Konabug Dynasty, present-day Myanmar. We lower that a little bit. 1840, John William Draper took the first successful photo in the U.S. of the moon with a daguerreotype photograph in New York City. This is the first photo of the moon. Look at that. I mean, it almost looks like a cartoon drawing, with the crescent and everything, but that's just with a daguerreotype photograph. I don't know why it has so many burn holes. Maybe that's just the type of photograph, but if seeing is believing. So, 1856, 18-year-old English chemist William Perkin accidentally produced the first synthetic aniline dye, mauvine, or purple, during his Easter holiday. So, accidentally creating purple. Up until then, it was...
That's your color.
That is my color, purple and orange. But up until then, it was a rather expensive shade. Like it was the color of royalty because back in the day, like it only comes from one area of the world, and you had to essentially be royalty to afford, like just from the demand versus the supply. It's very expensive back then. It says here, scientists accidentally discovered the world's first synthetic dye, mauveine, while trying to cure malaria. Instead of medicine, he stumbled upon the vibrant purple that changed fashion forever. One mistake colored the entire Victorian era.
Huh.
So, trying to find a cure for malaria there.
Yeah.
And accidentally saw, like...
Got a new color.
Yeah, that's awesome. 1857, Elijah Otis installed his first elevator at 488 Broadway in New York City. Yep.
Yeah.
And here we have a picture of him. It was just a platform, just to demonstrate, and they loaded it up with cargo and everything. Well, it wasn't going to be a people elevator. It was initially going to be to transport heavy things between floors.
Yeah.
And then eventually, they added walls. They're like, hey, we can move people, and we can build taller and everything. And as I said, the elevator shaft, and you can see this on Tom Scott's channel. The elevator shaft was invented before the actual elevator because that one guy knew that something like that was coming, but he built it as a cylindrical thing, not a square as elevators are now. 1858, streetcar was patented. E.A. Gardner in Philadelphia, another invention there. 1861, London's first tram cars, designed by Mr. Train of New York, began operating. Mr. Train, that's his name. His name again is Mr. Train. Remember that from,
No.
Simpsons, Mr. Plow?
No, never heard it. I never watched The Simpsons either.
Yeah. 1862, the Battle of Kernstown, Virginia. Jackson began his Valley Campaign. We marks the start of Stonewall Jackson's Valley Campaign. Although a Confederate defeat, the engagement distracted Federal efforts to capture Richmond, thus prolonging the war. That's strategy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 1867, Congress passed the Second Reconstruction Act over President Andrew Johnson's veto. We covered that yesterday. 1868, University of California was founded in Oakland, California, when the Organic Act was signed into law. That's weird. Organic Act? What the hell does a university have to do with it? Weird. 1879, War of the Pacific was fought between Chile and the joint forces of Bolivia and Peru. Chile successfully took over Arica and Tarapacá, leaving Bolivia a landlocked country. Ouch. That sucks. 1880, flour rolling mill patent was issued to John Stevens of Wisconsin. 1881, Boers in Britain signed a peace accord ending the First Boer War. We've spoken a lot about the Second Boer War, but when was the First Boer War? Well, this is when it ended, at least. I don't know when it began, though.
Could have been 100 years? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, it was like the native Africans versus the European colonists and everything in South Africa. Yep. Good old crackerjack.
That's why they're called Boers or whatever it is.
But which side was the Boers?
The Boers, I believe, are the white people.
You may be right. 1881, a gas lamp set fire to the Theatre Municipal Opera House in Nice, France. 70 people died, and the building was completely destroyed. That's terrible. 1882, the Edmunds Anti-Polygamy Act was adopted by the U.S. to suppress polygamy. 1,300 men were later imprisoned under the act. Yikes.
That was a big deal. I wonder what the idea behind that was.
Well, I mean,
I agree with it. I don't.
Well, here's the thing: if you're going to have polygamy, then you should allow one woman to have multiple husbands in the name of equality. With how progressive this nation is in first world countries, if you're going to allow polygamy, allow it on both sides.
But that's not my question. I'm just saying, at one time, polygamy in some areas was allowed.
Yes.
And then
it's still allowed in Utah.
No. Well, no, it isn't, because federal law trumps anything they have to say.
The Mormons, they practice polygamy.
No, they don't.
I believe some do.
Well, some do in secret, but it's against the law.
Okay.
I just wondered once it's here, I wonder what. God, the thought of two women. Holy cow! Wow. What are you, crazy? Even move on.
1888, in England, the Football League, the world's oldest professional association football league, met for the first time. It's telling me to image search this, but this is one image of that. And where did that go? Whoops! I did not mean to do that. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, what year was that again? There we go. 1888. Copy, paste. I almost screwed that up there. Images. So yeah, we have here, this is some kind of cover of a book. It just looks cool. The official centenary history of the Football League, 1888 to 1988. So there's an actual book about it. And then we have, oh yeah, I wanted to showcase this image here. Open image in new tab. It almost looks like the guy's going to get the ball to the face.
Yeah.
He's like, boonka funk. So,
well, he's headbutting it, right?
Yeah. 1889, the Free Woolwich Ferry officially opened in East London, and we also have the Ahmadiyya Muslim community was established by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad in Quadin, British India. 1895, the MHD Young Memorial Museum of Fine Arts opened in Golden Gate Park, San Francisco, California. Yay. Added to primary source. 1896, the Raines Law was passed by the New York State Legislature, restricting Sunday sale of alcohol to hotels. 1901, Australian opera star Dame Neelie Melba revealed secret of her now famous toast. Melba toast. the drier than the Sahara.
Yeah,
like
that stuff is horrible.
You know, like to each their own. 1901, Amelia Aguinaldo, the only president of the First Philippine Republic, was captured at Palanan, Isabela, by the forces of General Frederick Funston. That's not good. 1903, the Wright brothers first filed a patent for a flying machine, which was granted 3 years later. 1908, U.S. diplomat Durham Stevens was attacked by Korean assassins Jeon Myung-un and Jang In-hwan, leading to his death in the hospital 2 days later. Yikes. So what the hell, Korea? 1909, Theodore Roosevelt left New York for a post-presidency safari in Africa. The trip was sponsored by the Smithsonian Institution and National Geographic Society.
Yeah, he's a big naturalist.
Yep. 1913, a tornado outbreak killed more than 240 people in the central United States, while an ongoing flood in the Ohio River watershed was killing 650 people. Jeez.
Good Lord.
That's horrible. 1915, the Zion Mule Corps was formed by the British Army. Zionism, the city of Zion. And I'm not talking about the one from the Matrix. And once again, I talked with you about this earlier.
We did,
but Zion is a biblical city in the Bible.
Yeah.
So
you were talking about that.
Yeah.
You informed me. I didn't know.
Well, I spoke about, Neo being new, and Morpheus is some other biblical name I don't really remember, but then Trinity is the Holy Trinity, in the Matrix series. They're an allegory. And then, by extension, because from what I know, and I haven't looked this up, so I may be wrong, but the Wachowski brothers, who created the Matrix, they also created the Terminator, and at least initially, the first 3 Matrix movies are a spiritual successor to the first 2 Terminator movies. John Connor, Jesus Christ, fighting on the side of humanity and everything against machines. Eventually, machines won, and then ultimately at the end, Neo sacrificed his life, looking like a cross at the end, just like Jesus. And it was in the same. It was
chronological.
Both IPs fed into the other. The Terminator became the Matrix. It's one universe. So. 1917, tornadoes killed 211 people over 4 days in Midwest U.S. Whoa. Well, that's because, no sirens, no anything, back in 1917, how are you going to know that there's a tornado unless you notice, or probably
get in the cellar.
Yeah, busy, out harvesting the wheat or whatever the heck you're doing. 1918, Alec Wickham dove 200 feet into Australia's Yarra River. So I think did he fell? Okay.
Dove, not fell. Dove.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
Actually, 200 feet, you're gonna die.
Yeah. Well, I mean, diving is falling with style. So.
You know how to go into the water and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
200 feet's up there.
Yeah. Look at that. Let's see if I can bigger this image right here. You see, that's the structure right there. I mean, for the early 1900s, that's as good as you're gonna get.
Yeah. Trust me, I dug an Olympic pool up in Canada.
Are those people in canoes down there?
Looks like it. Some kind of boats.
Yeah.
Ready to pick them up or whatever.
Yeah, you dove in Canada?
No, I jumped
off
a 40-foot platform.
Ooh.
The top one in the Olympic pools, it's a platform, not a diving board anymore.
Ah.
And stupid.
Yikes. What else we got here in 1918? German forces advanced 14 miles to the Somme River during World War I. Germany also began using long-range gun, the Kaiser Wilhelm Gauches, the Emperor Wilhelm gun, also known as the Paris gun, to shell Paris from Crépy and Lyonnaise, 75 miles away. Over several days, 303 rounds killed 256 and wounded over 600 people. It's telling me to image search this. Now, just imagine, okay, being in Paris, okay, like 60, 70 miles away, you know, from the front line, and all of a sudden stuff starts exploding around you. You look up, there's no airships, there's no planes, you're not hearing anything, you know, the front line is way far away. What's happening? You know, so like it's not the amount of people. It was a psychological weapon more than anything. Like, and just the thought of being able to get hit that far behind the front line.
Yeah.
Because it started shelling Paris. You know, it wasn't just some random other city. It was the capital. Like, we have an illustration here, but I'm just trying to find an image. Like, let's see here. Open is that new tab. Just look at that thing. Like, that is ridiculous.
Yes, that is crazy.
Yeah. And it appears to be stationary, so it's not like a rail gun, like how so many people know German artillery in World War II. 1918 as well, Lithuania proclaimed independence. We also saw during the First World War, on the third day of the German Spring Offensive, the 10th Battalion of the Royal West Kent Regiment was annihilated, with many of the men becoming prisoners of war. Yikes. 1919, in the year 1919, 8th Congress of the Russian Communist Party reestablished a 5-member Politburo, which became the center of political power in the Soviet Union. Original members are Vladimir Lenin, Leon Trotsky, Joseph Stalin, Lev Kamenev, and Nikolai Krestinsky. 1919 as well, Bashkir Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic, designated as the first autonomous republic of Soviet Russia. We also have Benito Mussolini formed fascist group Fasci di Combattimento, Italian fighting bands in Milan, Italy, later reorganized into National Fascist Party. So we now have the birth of fascism. Thank you, Italy. 1921, Germany announced it will be unable to meet its Great War reparation payments. 1922, the first airplane landed at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. Awesome, awesome. 1923, Frank Silver and Irving Kahn published their hit song, Yes, We Have No Bananas.
Yes, we have no
bananas.
We have no bananas today.
Yes, no bananas. I'm gonna, if you want to hear the song, I have it up here.
When you ask him anything, he never answers no.
I listened to it earlier. It was quite entertaining. 1923, no, we got that one. 1931, Indian independence fighters Bhagat Singh, Shivaram Rajguru, and Sukhdev Thapar were hanged after conducting an assassination and a bombing. Their request to be shot by a firing squad was refused. Yikes. And so they killed the deputy superintendent of police during the Indian independence movement. Well, I mean, you killed...
Why do you request which way you want to die?
Well... I mean, like some countries and some civilizations, like some cultures, view that as like, you know, if you've earned it, like if you're a prisoner of war or something, or like I guess as some kind of final act of humanitarianism before you execute someone. I don't really know, but it exists.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it in many forms of media. Like, you know, movies, shows, you know, I've read it in various books. 1933, German Reichstag hastily passed the Enabling Act, and President Paul von Hindenburg signed it the same day, granting Adolf Hitler dictatorial powers. Now, that is interesting, because this is on the anniversary of Mussolini and his... So I wonder if they did this on purpose. If they realize, oh, wait, the anniversary is in, like, 10 days.
Let's do
Like,
that.
yeah, you know, like, get it done, go, go, go. Because it says hastily. Like, anyway, 1935, signing of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Philippines. All right. 1936, Italy, Austria, and Hungary signed the Pact of Rome. 36 as well, physician John G. Hamilton injected a leukemia patient with a sodium radioisotope. First intravenous injection of a human with a radioisotope. And that's some kind of, like, radioactive material or
Or they want
something.
to see if they glow in the dark, or
No, like something to do with it's kind of like chemotherapy. How the radiation it's going in there to irradiate and kill the cancer cell. But on
But
you're
even-
injecting it inside instead of
36. Have they
chemotherapy.
diagnosed what cancer really was? The
Well-
one time it was just called consumption.
Well, 36, it's calling it leukemia.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's cancer.
So I mean, it might not know about cancer, but they know they
True.
call that.
True.
So, 37, LA Railway Co. started using PCC streetcars. 38, MLB Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis freed 74 Street Louis Cardinals minor league players from their contracts. So is he disbanding a team there?
Don't know.
1939, the Hungarian Air Force attacked the headquarters of the Slovak Air Force in Spišská Nová Ves, killing 13 people and beginning the Slovak-Hungarian War. That would do it.
Never even heard of that war. That's it. It kind of.
Oh, there's so
bothers
many
me.
wars, dude.
Yeah, I know there are so many wars, and so I accept it wholeheartedly.
You're not going to know all the wars,
No,
man. It's
but
impossible.
there's so many I've never even heard of.
Yeah. But
And
bombing...
I was alive then.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
bombing...
no, I wasn't.
No, not yet.
I was 50. No,
No.
not yet.
But bombing other nations, Air Force headquarters will most certainly start a war,
Yeah.
So, 1940, first radio broadcast of Truth or Consequences on CBS. What's the consequence? Death?
Truth or consequences.
Yes. And it later became a TV show, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
It did.
One of those game shows.
Yeah.
1940, the Lahore Resolution, Korrect calling for independent Muslim states, was adopted by the All India Muslim League. Number 42, 2,500 Jews of Lublin were massacred or deported. Yikes. 44, Italian resistance group bombed occupying German police at Via Rasala in Rome, killing 33 and wounding 110 of the 156-man force. Retaliation killed 335 civilians. That's something that a lot of people don't really understand. Whenever you hear about resistance group, doing things and all that stuff, well, they're going to cause damage, and they're going to slip back into the shadows. But the common people are just going to get creamed.
They're in the way.
But by retaliation. And this time around, 335 people just lost their lives because, it's just war as hell, man. I don't know how to explain it. 1945, Battle of Okinawa. U.S. Navy ships bombed the Japanese island of Okinawa in preparation for the Allied invasion, the largest battle of the Pacific War and World War II. Yep.
Yeah, it's all to scale. See, there's a lot of people, again, losing their lives.
Yep. 45, Lieutenant General Miles Dempsey became the first British commander to cross the Rhine during the Allied invasion of Germany. We also have, and this is a very weird name for a company, the Swallow Sidecar Company, headed by William Lyons, agrees to change its name to Jaguar. I wonder why.
It's called Swallow?
Yeah, probably because of the bird, but,
Yeah.
with how lingo is these days, it's probably a good idea that he changed the name. But then again, with that recent commercial, or that one from last year, or whatever, their new Jaguar, it was so bad. Oh my goodness. Have you seen it?
No.
It was terrible.
The Jaguar has that a Jaguar,
Yeah, the big cat
I want to
thing.
see their insignia for a swallow.
It's a bird.
This is my car.
1948, British RAF pilot John Cunningham, at the age of 30, set a world altitude record of 59,430 feet, or 18,114 meters, flying a de Havilland Vampire fighter jet. That's pretty high. And primary source edited it. Used to just say this.
Yeah.
So, 1950, UN World Meteorological Org was established. Organization org,
I have no idea.
or original, what kind of org?
I don't know. I have no idea what that means.
51, wages in France increased 11%. Whoa.
Wages and what?
Wages in France
Oh.
increased 11%.
Yeah, but what was inflation? There's your key.
That's substantial there.
Yeah, that's a huge increase. So
Yeah.
inflation must have been going crazy.
Yeah. 1952, New York Rangers blow a 6-2 lead, losing 7-6 to the Chicago Blackhawks. Bill Mosenko scored fastest hat trick in NHL history, 21 seconds.
But
How do you
going
screw
back
that up?
I'm sorry, going back to France, it may not have been inflation. That's after the war.
Yeah.
And they were decimated, and they maybe finally were getting healthy enough where they could start paying people better.
Or maybe we like dumped a bunch of money on them, and then they decided to share with the people or something. I don't know.
I wish they would have brought it a little, and
You know,
molded it a little bit. You don't go back, but
Well, no, I'm just gonna do a surface level economy of France. Okay, well, this is gonna give me a whole history things.
always does.
So it's gonna, it's gonna require some research. So if anybody can figure out like an answer to his question, please let us know in the comments. 1956 here, Pakistan proclaimed an Islamic Republic and Commonwealth. This is their national day. All right. 1956, Sudan became independent. Cool. 57, U.S. Army sold its last homing pigeons. Hey.
Didn't need them anymore.
Yeah. 1962, Nawab of Pataudi captained the Indian cricket team against the West Indies at the age of 21 years and 77 days. Nice. It's pretty young to be a captain of a team.
Cricket.
Yeah, but still, I mean, here, if you
You
want.
chose the wrong sport.
There. I have a little soundboard for you. 1962, we got that one. Wake Forest coach Bones McKinney became the second person to play and coach.
Bones McKinney. Wait, that's college.
Yeah. Wake Forest coach Bones
How could-
McKinney.
You got to be a student to play. Maybe he was a student coach. Who knows?
He was playing and coaching.
62. Oh, that's pretty late. No, that's when my UCLA Bruins started taking off in their dynasty.
I mean, if it's a college, you can technically, be in a class and be a student.
Technically could be, but I will. Now that you have a college thing up there for basketball, I think it was 62 when UCLA won their first NCAA championship. I'm not exactly sure if that was the year, if it was 63, I don't know. But they won a championship with nobody on their team over 6'5".
Huh.
Very small team.
Staturely.
Yes. The number of players was the same.
Yeah. 1964, UNCTAD 1 World Conference opened in Geneva. What is that? Like United Nations something something or whatever? Like UNCTAD. Oh, United Nations Trade and Development?
Okay.
Okay, but what's the C? Oh, UN Conference on Trade and Development. Okay. 1965, Moroccan army shot on demonstrators, killing about 100. 65 as well, NASA launched Gemini 3, the first U.S. two-man space flight, with Gus Grissom and John Young.
Ooh,
Didn't Gus Grissom die horribly?
that I don't
1965. I don't remember. A lot of great astronauts and aviators died horribly. 1966, first official meeting after 400 years of Catholic and Anglican Church. That's pretty cool. First official meeting after 400 years.
know. Yeah.
68, Reverend Walter
Where you been?
Fauntleroy was first non-voting congressional delegate from D.C. 69 as well, rally for decency in Miami. Like decency of what? Like
I don't know.
like let's see here. 300 or 30,000 of Miami joined a rally for decency. And this is March 24th, 1969. So this is telling me Down with Obscenity rallied in the Orange Bowl today to support a teenage crusade for decency and entertainment.
Oh, okay.
Huh. Okay. 1970, Hello Darlin' single released by Conway Twitty, Billboard Song of the Year, 1970. 1971, Dutch Second Chamber accepted simplified divorce. Simplified. Well, can you tell me what that means? Like, what the heck is a simplified divorce? Like,
Make it simple,
so
so it wasn't so complex.
okay.
I in fact, in my first marriage, I did a do-it-yourself divorce.
Oh wow.
Yeah, got the book Divorce for Dummies or whatever. It wasn't called that then, but yeah. And I just read that book, and it says when you go into the court, say these exact words, word for word. And then there's a footnote. If you see other lawyers in there representing someone, they will bloviate and do all this fancy stuff, but they'll say every one of those words, word for word. And they're exactly right when I'm sitting in court waiting for my turn.
Everything's a song and dance.
Yeah, they're doing a tap dance to make it, like they're important, and he's worth paying $10,000 to.
Like that one guy at Fry's walking with a piece of paper.
Wherever he went, he had that piece of paper.
1972, New York Yankees agreed to continue playing ball in the Bronx. 73, Yoko Ono was granted permanent residence in the United States of America. Why? Why? Are we not under enough pain? 76, International Bill of Rights went into effect. 35 nations ratifying. 1977, Elvis Presley began his final concert tour. 77 as well, the first of the Nixon interviews, 12 will be recorded over 4 weeks, was videotaped with British journalist David Frost interviewing former United States President Richard Nixon about the Watergate scandal and the Nixon tapes. It was a big event right there.
David Frost, man, I haven't heard his name in a long time.
Ah.
He was a reporter, guy did interviews like that, getting to the truth of stuff.
Yeah. So I guess you could say he was...
Frosty.
He was on ice? 78, the first UNIFIL troops arrived in Lebanon for peacekeeping mission along the Blue Line. UNIFIL? What the heck is UNIFIL now? Like, what's with all these freaking abbreviations? United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon. Okay.
Oh, we're back in Lebanon?
In 1978, yeah.
Yeah.
So... Anyway, what else do we got here? 1980, Australian cricketer Alan Border became the first and only batsman to reach 150 in each innings of a test, and the third test versus Pakistan in Lahore. 1980, Nicaraguan National Literary Crusade began. Crusade teachers swore in plazas across the country to exterminate ignorance in just 5 months. They will successfully reduce illiteracy from 50% to 12%. Dude, good job.
Yeah.
Excellent work. That's awesome. Now, I hope they got rid of the extra 12%. Well, didn't get rid of them, but, made them literate. But yeah, that's impressive. 1980, Archbishop Oscar Romero of El Salvador gave his famous speech appealing to men of the El Salvadorian Armed Forces to stop killing the Salvadorians. I agree. 81, U.S. Supreme Court ruled states could require, with some exceptions, parental notification when teenage girls sought abortions. Mm-hmm. So they absolutely should require the parents to be notified across the board, 100%.
I don't know why there's maybe even rape or something that's an exception. Parents have got to be involved.
Well, no.
I mean, they're responsible for these little people.
Well, out here in California,
so you should be informed.
Out here in California, and Kathleen Cameltoe Harris, friggin' was behind this when she was DA of California back in the day, or she at least was heavily pushing it. She was involved in some way, somehow, to some capacity. But there is a bill in California that has passed a while ago, allowing if a 22-year-old wants to be in a relationship with a 12-year-old, there's a 10-year discrepancy thing, or grace age difference or whatever, they can go to a court of law, and then the judge is authorized to legalize that relationship without any obligation to inform the parents whatsoever. So out here, a 20-year-old can date a 10-year-old. What the hell? That is absolutely obscene. And don't take my word for it. Look it up. It might have been repealed by now, but I know it was a thing for a while, at least. I kept my eye on it. That was horrifying. 1981, U.S. Supreme Court upheld law making statutory rape a crime only for men. Well, speaking of horrifying things, why not for women too? Women can do horrible things to men. They do all the time. Especially, there's a lot of stories of female teachers taking advantage of their underage, students and all that stuff. Ugh. 83, U.S. President Ronald Reagan introduced Strategic Defense Initiative, the Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was his initial proposal to develop technology to intercept enemy missiles, which we're still doing stuff like that today and trying to acquisition Greenland. So, because that's supposed to be, that's a buffer area. We can have missile interception stuff.
It would be one cornerstone of the Golden Dome that he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
He perceives.
And Europe ain't doing shit. Somebody's got to do something. And Russia's not going to wait for us. That's for sure. 85, David Bowie was special surprise guest at Tina Turner concert at NEC Arena in Birmingham, England. They performed duets of Bowie's Tonight and a medley of Chris Montana's Let's Dance and Bowie's song of the same name. 86, the first 2 WTA Tour Championships of the year. Change of tennis schedule. Martina Navratilova won
good.
4th straight and 7th overall title, 6-2, 6-0, 3-6, 6-1, against Hannah Mandalokova in New York City. This was removed from primary source, so we might cover it again in the future at some point if they got the date wrong somehow. 87, U.S. offered military protection to Kuwaiti ships in the Persian Gulf. 1989, 2 Utah scientists claim they have produced fusion at room temperature. That is major.
Wow.
That is absolutely major. Because usually fusion is like incredibly hot. But if you can have it at room temperature, then you can do so like in ways that like you don't need so much shielding and everything, and then you can have it like more portable.
So
yeah.
Is that a realistic thing, or did they have something wrong?
Well, no, it might be realistic. I mean, like I've said this a couple times before. Whenever we would look back at like oh, they had this in 1789 or they had this in 1943. Well, it's there. They had it. Why are we so surprised? Why are we not more surprised that we're farther along than that?
Of course, that that's
like,
probably where cold fusion comes from.
Yeah, probably. 89 as well. Joel Steinberg was sentenced to 25 years for kidnapping his adopted daughter. That would cause it. Pardon me. 1990, former Exxon Valdez captain Joseph Hazelwood was ordered to help clean up the Prince William Sound and pay $50,000 in restitution for the 1989 oil spill. We've been talking about that over the past couple of days here. 91, the first World League of U.S. football games. London beat Frankfurt 24-11. Sacramento defeated Relay de Deux 9-3, and Mont beats Birmingham 20-5. 91, 20 tornadoes killed 5 in Tennessee. Hold up a second. How can you attribute 20 tornadoes to 5 deaths? Like,
well, there's 20 tornadoes and 5 people died.
But then at most, like either 1 killed 5 or
yeah, it could have been anywhere. It could have been 1 killed 5, or it could be took 20 different tornadoes to kill 1 or 2, 5. I mean.
Well, are they passing and humming around like a football?
Well,
Here,
no,
catch.
No. They're just saying there was 20 tornadoes.
Yes.
With 5 deaths.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how. If 1 tornado killed 5, or
I'm just trying to set up a stupid situation. Like did 15 tornadoes get a Sys-kill credit or something?
That's what you were going for?
I'm stupid. What can I say? 91, the Revolutionary United Front
Don't forget a hockey assist.
Yep. With support from the special forces of Charles Taylor's National Patriotic Front of Liberia, invaded Sierra Leone in an attempt to overthrow Joseph Saidu Momoth, sparking the 11-year Sierra Leone Civil War. Whoops. 92, Florida Marlin began selling tickets.
Oh, the baseball team.
That sounds a little fishy to me.
Oh,
you caught it.
Of course.
I had to cast that out.
Oh, just move on, please.
Just keep swimming.
It's getting deep.
And it's a Marlin, so I guess you get the point. 94, Green Ramp disaster, mid-air collision of USAF F-16 fighter jet and USAF C-130 Hercules transports. Killed 24 and injured over 100 U.S. Army paratroopers on the ground preparing for training at Pope Air Force Base in Cumberland County, North Carolina. This, horrible. Absolutely horrible. In training, man.
Yeah.
94, Howard Stern formally announced his libertarian run for New York governor. Now that is an eyebrow raiser.
I never heard of that.
I didn't either.
Apparently wasn't too successful.
Good. With how he is now, good. 94, Richard Jacobs bought naming rights to Indiana's new ballpark at Gateway for $13.8 million, later renamed Jacobs Field. Obviously, named it after himself. Whoa, whoops. Okay, I did not mean to do that. How much would that be in 2026 dollars? I did not have the time to look it up. I got to keep going here. 1994, Wayne Gretzky set NHL record with 802 goals scored. Nice. 94 as well, at an election rally in Tijuana, Mexican presidential candidate Luis Donaldo Colosio was assassinated by Mario Alberto Martinez. 95, the dollar equaled 88.41 yen. This is a record. Okay. 96, Taiwan held its first direct elections and chose Lee Teng-hui as president. 2 years later, we have the 70th Academy Awards. Titanic, also known as Titanic. Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt were won.
Oh.
All right. 99, Livin' La Vida Loca, sung by Ricky Martin, was released and went on to sell over 8 million copies.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember this song. It was a good one. So, La Vida Loca. I'm gonna add this into the underbar section. Yeah, I would say you'll go listen to this after the show, of course.
I remember.
99, gunman assassinated Paraguay's vice president, Luis Maria Argona. That's not good. 2001, the Russian Mir space station was disposed of, breaking up in the atmosphere before falling into the southern Pacific Ocean near Fiji. I don't like the terminology disposed of. Dude, it's not a crumpled up piece of paper. It's a freaking space station. Like, I would have said ceremoniously deorbited or something. Not disposed
something
of.
better.
Yeah.
But they had to bring it down.
Yeah.
Try to control it down, so they at least controlled it to get into the ocean.
Yeah. 2003, in Nairisha, Iraq, 11 soldiers of the 507th Maintenance Company, as well as 18 U.S. Marines, were killed during the first major conflict of Operation Iraqi Freedom, the invasion of Iraq, the second one, when I was in high school. Because Iraq had nothing to do with the towers coming down or the Pentagon getting hit, even though that looked like a missile. Or, what was it, in Pennsylvania when that other one got brought, they brought it down from inside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all part of the same thing.
Let's roll.
That's
right. Yeah. Rest in peace, all those people. But, yeah, Iraq had nothing to do with that yet. Yeah. 2004, Andhra Pradesh Federation of Trade Union held its first conference in Hyderabad, India. Sounds pretty cool. 2005, major explosion and fire at the BP's Texas City refinery killed 15 workers in Texas City, Texas. Is it British Petroleum, BP? Refinery?
Yeah.
The freaking limeys are still trying to kill us. 2005 as well, the United States 11th Circuit Court of Appeals in a 2-1 decision refused to order the reinsertion of Terry Sharapo's feeding tube. Oh yeah, this was when she was a vegetable.
I do remember that.
Yeah, they were going on like, should we pull it, should we not, what to do, but man, that was a circus. 2006, the Federal Reserve discontinued publishing M3 money supply. What is that? M3. Is that a gang?
No.
M3 money supply? What is... Here we go. What is this? Let's see here. The Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System will cease publication of the M3 monetary aggregate. The board will also cease publishing the following components: large denomination time deposits, repurchase agreements, or RPs, and euro dollars. Alright, well, I'm going to add this in the underbar section if anybody wants to read this even more. What is this? M3 money. M3 money. So let's just put that there. What else we got here? 2007, Burnley Tunnel catastrophe occurred in Melbourne, Australia. What happened? I'm going to look that up here really quick, just a surface level scratch of the article, just to see if anything interesting happens.
It's an underwater tunnel or something.
Is a tollway tunnel in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, which carries traffic eastbound from the Westgate Freeway to the Monash Freeway. It is part of the CityLink tollway operative, running under the Yarra River.
Yeah. See,
okay.
I figured something like that.
Yeah. So I'm going to add this here. Tunnel catastrophe. Catastrophe. Yeah, if you can let us know in the comments, what happened, and how many wounded, how many deaths, damage. Is it still around, or is it did it get destroyed? 2007, Iranian Navy seized Royal Navy personnel in Iraqi waters. We're still in the Middle East and everything. We were there until friggin' Brandon just pulled us out, early or whatever it was. We had an agreement with the Taliban and everything. So, 2007, Iranian Navy, we got that one. 2008, official opening of Rajiv Gandhi International Airport in Hyderabad, India. That's cool. 2009, Second World Baseball Classic. Japan repeated as champion of the international tournament with a 5-3 10-inning win over South Korea at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Now that must have been a crazy game. 10 innings, Japan, Korea in Los Angeles. This is worldwide, man. That's awesome. 2010, U.S. President Barack Hussein Obama signed the Affordable Care Act, the ACA nicknamed Obamacare, expanding the availability and affordability of healthcare insurance. My ass affordability because the cost just went to everybody.
It's a mess.
Well, like, you know,
It's so damn expensive now.
You start making more government programs. Where do you think that money is going to come from? From your wallets when the taxes go up, dummies. 2012, African Union suspended Mali's membership following a coup. 1 year after that, 20 people were killed and 200 injured by a tornado in Bamaria, Bangladesh. I didn't even know they got tornadoes in that area of the world. That's wild.
No.
2013
Well, you
is...
know, in that area of the world, it's a tornado. Over here, it's a hurricane.
No, tornadoes are tornadoes no matter what.
Yeah.
You're
Oh, that's
thinking
true.
of...
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, you're right.
I thought I was having an aneurysm. 2013, Chris Sharma became the second person to climb a 9B plus 5.15C route with his ascent of La Dura Dura in Oliana, Spain. But who was the first to climb such a thing? We also have the U.S. Senate approved its first budget in 4 years by a margin of 50 to 49. Wow. Like, that's ridiculous.
Couldn't even pass a budget.
Ridiculous.
Some things never change.
Well,
like the government's so screwed.
You want to talk about something's never changing? Was like for the 20th year in a row, the freaking Pentagon has failed an audit or whatever it is, the CIA or something.
What kind of audit?
Money,
Oh.
like their budget and all that stuff. Like they're grossly over budget. Nobody knows where the money goes, and they're just it's just gone. And like it just because and I'm gonna like look into this. Anybody watching this? Like a few days before 9/11, there was like the Pentagon was being audited. They found like trillions of dollars just not there anymore. Like not accounted for. It just doesn't exist. Like where'd it go? And it just so happened that the area that the Pentagon that got hit was their financial section or housed it, and all of that is gone. So built like literally trillions of dollars that just disappeared. Now it's just poof. So. 2013, Walt Disney Company launched premium cable Disney Junior channel with 24-hour programming for the 2 to 7-year-old audience. Yeah, they got to get them when they're young.
I think it was a bust, wasn't it? I may be mistaken. They've done
Disney,
a couple things that are really bombed.
Disney Junior? No, it went around for a while, I think. I don't know. Like, I haven't watched TV in like 5 years, 10 years. When was the last time I actually sat and watched TV?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Like, I was actually asking if you just so happen to remember for whatever reason.
No, I don't.
2014, the World Health Organization, WHO, reported cases of Ebola in the forested rural region of southeastern Guinea, marking the beginning of the largest Ebola outbreak in history. You know, they're always trying to start a public scare. 2016, GPR investigation of Shakespeare's tomb at Holy Trinity Church in Stratford concluded the bard's skull was probably stolen. Probably had been stolen. So somebody out there... And actually, that would be so ironic if somebody's reciting Hamlet, to be or not to be, with the skull, and the actual skull of William Shakespeare, the alleged playwright of.
No,
hey,
sick.
People are sick. You don't know what some people will do. 2018, a Sahara sandstorm turned snow in Sochi, Russia, orange in one of the largest ever transfers of desert sand. I got to image search this really quick. So let's see here. Images. Pull this down here. And actually, we don't need Ricky Martin up there anymore. But check this out. What was it? Sand on snow? Or yeah, that looks so
Turning
weird.
Orange, yeah.
That looks
Sandstorm.
wild. Whoops. I mean, this all looks like it's sepia tone. That's crazy. Whoa. That looks like a scene out of California, out of the wildfires.
Yeah, it does.
2018, Peru's Congress swore in Vice President Martin Vizcarra as the new president after Pedro Pablo Kuczynski resigned amid a corruption scandal. 2019, Italy signed up to China's Belt and Road Initiative, with deals signed in Rome between Italian Deputy Prime Minister Luigi Di Maio and Chinese President Winnie the Pooh. Or West Taiwan's President Winnie the Pooh, my bad. 2019, more than 1 million marched to demand a new EU referendum in London, England. 2019 as well, more than 130 Fulani people were killed in Ogoshagu, Mali, in attack by Dogon hunters, prompted government ban on the hunters. So some kind of, like, I guess, tribal hunting or something, I don't know. Like the Dogon people and their hunters, like, hunting their path, but they got banned because they ended up killing these other people. I don't know. Unless they were hunting, unless the Dogons are hunting the Fulanis, which that would be crazy. Still in 2019, Syrian Democratic Forces announced that the last Islamic State territory had been retaken, raising flags in Baghuz, Syria, and ending the 5-year Islamic State Caliphate. Moving on to 2020, black U.S. statesman Daniel Pride died after being physically retained by police in Rochester, New York, including having a hood put over his head. I didn't hear about that.
No.
2020, Kung Flu lockdowns imposed in South Africa and the United Kingdom, while other European nations extended and strengthened their lockdowns. We also had an immediate global ceasefire to fight Kung Flu was called for by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. 2020 as well, Prime Minister Boris Johnson put the United Kingdom into its first national lockdown in response to COVID-19. 2021, cargo ship Ever Given got stuck in the Suez Canal, Egypt, a 400-meter mega ship that completely blocked the shipping canal. And the whole thing was crazy. Like it was like when it was in like the lake or something, it had a weird path. You know, anybody watching this, look into that. I remember following this in real time as this happened back then. But do you remember this by chance, Loon? Look at this. You should remember this photo. Remember
Yes,
it got
I
wedged?
do. Yes, now I do when I see that. Yes.
Yeah, just got wedged right there.
Yeah.
It's so obviously intentional.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
they did that during the pandemic in order to make things even more worse, because now that put a stop to global shipping for
Yeah.
6 days.
Yeah.
You know? Wild. 2021, the first ever tweet by Twitter founder Jack Dorsey, just setting on my Twitter, sold for $2.9 million in digitally autographed version. We covered that the other, like yesterday or the day before
we
or
did.
something.
Yeah.
But that was the anniversary of when he actually sent it. This is like a photo of it that was physically sold. Somebody, how do you sell a Twitter? It's a freaking post on a forum. How do you sell that? It's not tangible. Yeah, I guess some people just have too much money. 2022, Okay. 2022, after 114 consecutive weeks as world #1 female tennis player, 25-year-old Australian Ash Barty made shock retirement announcement, cited contentment with all she had achieved in the sport. This has been added to primary source. So, all right, cool. You achieved your dreams, and now you're going to live the rest of your life just relaxing. All right, nice. We also have Brian Houston, Australian founder of mega church Hillsong, resigned after an international investigation found he breached their code of conduct with 2 women. Uh-oh. Added to primary source, 2022 as well, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken formally declared that members of Russian armed forces have committed war crimes in Ukraine. 2023, Canada recorded record population growth, plus 2.7%, adding 1 million people in 2022, mostly through immigration. That is terrifying. Like, because with how most of the immigrants have been turning out to be, they're not going to be your friend.
They have a lot of immigrants up there, absolutely.
Yeah, that's terrible. Well, I mean, like, the 9/11 terrorists came down from Canada, so... We also have 2023, Harry Kane overtook Wayne Rooney's record to become England's all-time greatest goal scorer in a 2-1 victory over Italy with his 54th goal. TikTok CEO Shou Xiu was questioned over 4 hours by a U.S. congressional hearing over its Chinese security risks. It's not enough. We also have Utah was the first state to limit social media for minors, including an overnight curfew and parental consents. All right, I'm all for that. We got to get the kids off the screens. And last but not least, 2025, just this time last year, Israeli Defense Forces killed 15 aid workers in the Rafah paramedic massacre. I told you about this last year. They just went up and just zipped them. They weren't, like, it wasn't like, what's the collateral damage. They weren't in the way of Palestinians or any terrorist groups. They just went up and zipped them. That's why I say what I say. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar in the description below for anything that you may find interesting, including not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, so we can only bring you a portion between 2 sources. Please check our sources to continue your own adventure of self-education. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU, thank you so much for coming in and watching this. And until you catch us next time, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!